Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out my broadcast today. I am going to be broadcasting through headphones, maybe, if you can hear me. Let me see if anybody can hear me. Audio. Anthony says audio. Okay. Uh, yeah. So I'm going to ditch this microphone, and so I have no idea if this is loud enough. If it's soft, I can try to adjust the settings if you guys give it to me. But anyways, so after much delay, I am finally live. Today is day 254 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. Um, so a bunch of things. Everybody's saying no audio. Yep, I got it going. Victoria, great seeing you here. Thanks for making the broadcast. And Anthony and Carrie as well. If anybody has any non-scale victories they want to share, I'd love to hear them. If anybody has any questions or anything, let me know too. I will probably be a little bit thrown off here now. I've had quite the last half hour. We had no power in the building, which is probably why the microphone isn't working for some reason. At about 3 o'clock, the power just went out in the building, um, and I didn't have any. Uh, I didn't know what to do. Like I was literally out the door, like coming back in to grab something because I was just gonna call it for the day, and I came back in and the lights came on. So I kind of scrambled to try to get everything up and going. And obviously, something happened with the main microphone that I normally use. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was really a good weekend for me. I ended up spending a lot of time with the family. We uh, we ended up doing a lot of shopping. Like we were in town, all of us together, doing stuff. Uh, even before COVID happened, I don't know that we had been out and about that much with all of our kids at one time. And so, uh, but yeah, so Friday after we got done here, we're hanging out the house doing stuff, and the weather has been just kind of really gloomy and rainy, and just it hasn't been good for doing any outdoor workouts. So, and my app on my phone keeps telling me it's going to rain in a half hour, and then a half hour later, I look at outside and there's no rain, and I look at my phone and it says it's going to rain in a half hour. So I kept putting off doing any activity, and that was kind of the theme through the weekend until Sunday. And I'll go over my workout on Sunday a little bit, but kind of, uh, one of the things I try to do as I continue losing weight is keep my mind open to new things. Uh, Example, my diet, and kind of see where it takes me and see how it goes. And I had been doing some research or doing some different things, and I came across some stuff about with like meditation and philosophy, and I started looking into what is called Stoicism, and I kind of what when somebody says somebody is stoic, you kind of they're unemotional, they're it's almost stone, like is what I take from that. But anyways, so I'm just starting to kind of dip my toe in to see, I'd seen a few things so far that I liked, and so one of the things that I started doing was journaling. And so Saturday, Sunday, and then this morning, each morning I've gotten up and I've just grabbed. I have now I have a journal or a notebook that I'm going to write in each day, and I just spend 20 minutes or however long it takes to kind of just write out my thoughts. It's been a really nice practice. It's interesting because it's when I talked to Carrie about it after the first time I did it, and I hadn't, I don't think I've sat down and wrote a full page of text on a paper in years, like since like college, like doing that kind of writing or just kind of journaling. I write for work, and I do, spreadsheets and stuff, but a lot of my work is on the computer now. But um and so it was interesting to sit there and write, and to be recording my thoughts, and to also, you know, when you record the thought on paper, it kind of becomes a tangible thing. And so, I spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to write, and it causes me to go off on other kind of ways, things, and I kind of write down just what's going on. And I really enjoyed that part of it. And that is a big part of the basis of it is taking the time to do that journaling. I'm just getting into it, so I don't know any of the real in-depth parts of it. But from what I'm seeing, I really have been enjoying that. Um, the other things for us, and I don't know how it's gone at the house for Carrie today, but we are trying to um, bring more of what we're finding that is benefiting us into our kids' lives. It's been interesting eating a whole food plant-based diet and having kind of the physical changes that we've had, but also the mental changes and the changes about food philosophy in general, the food beliefs in general, because the many times, I mean, every every diet I've ever been on to lose weight, to get to my goal weight, to cut weight, to, you know, it has been a diet that you wouldn't put a child on. Like if you were saying, okay, I'm going to restrict your calories to 800 a day, and you're only going to eat protein, and you're not going to eat any carbohydrates, or you're going to, like the, um, you wouldn't do that to a kid, or you probably get in trouble doing that to a kid. But our diet, I mean, it's not a restrictive volume diet. There's really a million options out there. Um, but I think we're going to try to get our kids to eat more of a whole food plant-based diet and be less lenient on things when we can. It's something where even yesterday we ended up kind of going out and eating, which just the circumstances worked out. And there was a restaurant that we had gone to previously with them that we had gotten some things that they liked, or, that had better options. And then we get there and we end up getting stuff with cheese on it, and a meal that had chicken in it that he didn't even eat the chicken out of it. Like, and so, um, but, we, even all of our intentions were to stick to it. And then when we got out and we were faced with it, we still didn't stick to it, because it was one of those places where, because they offer food that fits our diet, they charge a lot of money for all of their food. They're very fancy, and like, yeah, it was very expensive. So to spend the money on food that we didn't think that they would eat was hard. So we've bought food that we did think they would eat. And so, uh, it's one of those things where it's a mistake we won't make again. We just have to realize that if if the restaurant has options that are not what we want our kids to eat, it's going to be tough to go to those restaurants, and in doing stuff with family and social and having outside things, that's different. But if it's just our family, I don't know that we need to go out to eat um, when we, for as much as we want. And, it was just something, like I said, I thought we could do it and figure it out, and we got there and it just didn't work. So, um, but yeah, so we've been having our kids eat more of a vegan diet, but I think that I personally, and I know it's going to be a struggle with the kids, but I want to be um, sharing our dinners with them. I want them to be eating the dinners we're eating. That way, it'll make it easier on Carrie that she's not making multiple dinners, and eventually it kind of stemmed from something that I don't know how the what's Carrie? Oh, Carrie's got her hands up for only making one dinner a night. Yes. But I think that the so much of what we eat and what we prefer is based on what we have eaten and what our taste buds are accustomed to having within a relatively short period of time. I think that our taste buds and our bodies don't have a long-term memory when it comes to the preferences, um, and that it's more about what is in our environment to eat around us at the time. And by not having junk food in our environment or having foods that we want our kids to eat as the options, if we don't have the options to make a vegan corn dog, then they're not gonna be able to cop out of having dinner because we can just nuke them a corn dog. And some of our kids are going to be more receptive to it, and they're working hard. I mean, I think that they see the improvements that we've made too, and they have a hard time uh, because we eat so different than what we used to eat and still so different from what they eat. There's so many times where they're asking us, is that on your diet? Are you sure you can have that? Oh, that's, you can't have sugar, like they call us out anytime that they think that we might be falling off our diet. So it's definitely something that they see, um, and probably more so than before because we're eating in front of them because we're not on super calorie restricted diets where we're not eating at all. Like we're eating and we're eating a good amount. I mean, there was, and I don't know if Carrie shared it on the Discord, but there was a meal she had made on the 4th of July that she made it again the other day. It's the base is chickpeas and it's got a lot of lemon in it, and it's really good. And I go back for seconds for dinner all the time, and I'm still losing weight. And so they're seeing that we're eating, and what we're eating, uh, and so that's going to influence them more so than if we were eating nothing or eating very low calorie. Then what we were eating wouldn't have as much influence on them, if that makes sense. Or I don't know, I might just be rambling. um but uh but yeah, and yeah, so there's a lot of, I don't know, I felt like this weekend there was so many kind of changes that we've talked about trying to uh do within our family because of the growing, I feel like, that me and Carrie are doing, and just with the knowledge, and I'm spending the time to um to learn about these types of things, whereas before I was spending my extra time watching television or just being lazy. um and so to um so now that I'm spending my time trying to educate myself, I feel like that there's just so much uh, newness going on. I don't know, going on with us, but I'm sure that I'm sure that just was awful on your guys' end. I have no idea. Um, I'm sorry, with the microphone. Let's see. So yeah, those are big changes. We're trying to change kids' diets more. I'm super happy with my diet. I really, I don't know what it ends up being in the end, but I did a workout on um, Sunday, and it it may be, obviously me losing 190 pounds is going to influence how well I can work out and how things are going to go. But um, I ended up, uh, so I have the Sprint Triathlon coming up this Saturday that I'm extremely nervous about. I signed up for it and didn't really think of all of the time I was going to have to commit to training so that I'd be ready. I don't know what I was thinking exactly, but I've been trying to etch out time. Like I mentioned earlier, on Friday I couldn't really get anything done. Saturday was the same way. Sunday I finally kind of just said, "Screw it! I got to do something. I can't not." So even if it rains on me, I have to get out. And so I ended up doing what is called a brick workout, and the reason to do a brick workout, or what a brick workout is where you go and so a triathlon, you swim for the one I'm doing, you swim for 400 or 500 yards, and then you bike ride for 15 miles, and then you run for 3 miles. And the transition from being on the bicycle to running is a transition that is not it, until I did it, I didn't have any idea or all I knew was that people said, "Hey, you really should do a brick workout. That way, when you're doing the triathlon, you'll know what it's like to do that transition." And so I went out with the intention to doing a brick workout. I've been pretty crazy about how my workouts have been going. I've honestly, every real workout that I've done, I've shown on here. And if you go back for the last month since I said that I was going to be doing this, there's not a lot of workouts I've done. But one of my goals in doing my workouts is that I want to make my body do as much distance, or do the distance of what I'm going to have to do, because it's I feel like I know I could mentally stick with it for however long it takes, or however slow I have to go to do it. But I need to get my body up to the point where it can handle doing the workout. And so I've done, I did a 15-mile bike ride was my first bike ride. I did a 35-mile ride was my second bike ride. I did a 5 or a 7-mile bike ride that I got rained out, that I wouldn't have gotten rained out, but I chickened out, I suppose, because I started to get rained on. And so, and then yesterday I did my brick workout because I wanted to ride my bike, feel that transition. And then I'm also, I don't know that there's a time limit to get the Sprint Triathlon done, but they do the awards at like 2.5 hours after the race starts. And so I kind of have been like, I mean, if it's going to take me an hour to run, or, I don't know how long it's going to take me to run, because I have to do a bike ride first. Like all of the runs I've ever done were on fresh legs, and the fastest I had done it was like 54 minutes. And so uh, after doing a 15-mile bike ride, I don't anticipate being able to run as fast. So anyways, I didn't want to get out, or I don't want to get out there and completely humiliate myself. So I decided to go out, and the courses that I did were relatively flat. And the elevation will probably show here, but let me pull up my camera. I don't know why that's not. I thought that was going to be working. Let me try it again. So we're going to go Stream Link. Why is it? See, okay. We're going to go to Screen Link, start broadcast. Any luck? No luck, huh? The other Elgato, yeah, neither one of them. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I know what's going on. Ha ha ha. So when my power went out earlier, my phone connects to the Wi-Fi. It wasn't letting me do it. Anyways, I turned my Wi-Fi off. So now this should work. I don't want that. Stop it. All right, let's see what happens now. See if I connect it to the Wi-Fi and if it does anything I want it to do. No, nothing's gonna work. Cool. So anyways, I got out and did the workout. I ended up doing a 15-mile bike ride and I did the 5K run followed. And the big reason to do it was to do that transition. And it was definitely worth it to take the time because that transition was weird. Kind of, I don't know. Oh, here we go. There's all my apps, everybody. So, here we go. So I got it working. But yeah, the transition was really weird, and I'll get into that, I guess, as I get to explain this now. So I started off with the 15.86 mile bike ride. It took me an hour and 7 minutes to do it. My average speed was 14 miles an hour. The course I took there, you kind of see it's like a T shape or an L shape. But what I did, starting from the east side there, heading to the west, I went all the way to that kind of western line in the middle there, and then I rode up north, came back down south, past that, and then came back up north to the line again and headed. The reason I did that is because there's major intersections kind of at both those spots, and it's relatively flat throughout that whole area. Let me see if this has the elevation change here. Yeah, I mean, so kind of when I first get out, it's 640 feet. The most I ever get up to is 680 in elevation. And so it's a relatively flat area that I went on, and so that's why I rode that. I was really surprised at how well I did on the bicycle. I hadn't been on it for a week or so, and I got going, and kind of the first hill-ish, whatever, the first incline I came to, I was expecting to have some issues, and I didn't have, just to kind of, just getting warmed up and things like that. And from the beginning, I felt like I was just, my muscles were just ready for it. Like I didn't feel like I was using, all of the prep riding I've done has really helped strengthen those leg muscles. And then also I'm getting better with the shifting and trying to keep a consistent cadence. That was kind of what I've been trying to focus on, is keeping my feet moving at about the same rotation the whole time. And really the whole bike ride I felt great. And it was from the time I kind of started heading north, I got hit with this headwind, and it was really awful. I mean, there was a couple times where I was wishing that I wasn't heading that direction. In fact, I had to kind of do, if you see on the map, there's a little bit of a jog in the middle to the south that I had to I wanted to do a little extra because going back to my endpoint, I didn't think that I would hit the 15-mile mark. And I would not have. I needed to do that to hit the 15-mile mark. So, but then it caused me to go way over. Like I could have done less than I did. But anyways, the whole time on the bike, I felt great. I know my speed towards the end was pretty fast, but yeah, my average speed was 14. My max, I think like I said, was like at the end was the biggest kind of downhill I had to get speed going. I felt so. Another thing that's weird, any bicycling that I have done in the past has been bicycling on paths or bike trails. I've not done a lot of biking on the road, and I definitely feel like it's I'm more confident biking on the road now than I was a month ago when I started, and which has helped me, I believe, just kind of with being less nervous and about people coming around and things. But I really enjoyed the riding on the roads versus the trails. I feel like the trails have a lot of steeper hills and tighter turns, and with the road, it's just kind of a nice, kind of smooth ride. There's not a lot of technical bits to it. Um, I don't know if this is going to have like splits or not. I mean, it was yeah, the temperature was good. Um, yeah, okay, so here it is. So the first 5 miles took me 20 minutes. The second 5 miles was quicker at 19 minutes. And then that third one being 23. The big thing about that third 5 mile stretch there was that I was in a headwind a lot of it, and the wind had kind of shifted when I started heading towards the east and kind of was still hitting me in the head or in the so uh, a lot of that I feel like was from that headwind that I had there. And so yeah, I got off the bicycle. I ended up there's an elementary school where I near our house, and they have just like a blacktop area in the back for kids to the playground. And so I rode my bike to the playground, and then I started running around the playground. And so that's why everything is just a loop right there. The actual track for the playground is that big circle there, but there's some more concrete off to the east where I didn't feel like running the same circle 35 times. I figure if I ran that extra bit, it would be like 25 times, and it probably was closer to that. But I ended up getting off the bike, and yeah, that green dot where the start button is, that's where I got off the bike and I started doing this transition and do the walk. I don't know if this is going to show my average speed here. It does. So if you look at the start of the race, it is for the first 5 to 7 minutes. I am going very slow there. And that was all because of that transition and just how weird it is, because while you're riding the bike, you're using your leg muscles, but you're not using your butt muscle. And when you get off to go run, you have you need to use your butt muscle, and it's not ready to be worked because it's had the day off for the last 15 miles. And so you get running, and I felt like I was going to fall backwards or fall down, and it just was really awkward. But slowly, it went away, and I was able to keep a pretty good pace. The splits on this, so my overall time for this 5K was 54:44, which is probably right at the fastest time I've done a 5K. I think that it was just under 55 minutes was the time that I had done the first 5K in that 10K workout I did a couple weeks ago. So, anyways, um, I got off. I did the distance. I was happy about how the run went. I kept a pretty good, what I would call uh, uh, athletic trot going on. I was never really moving fast. Carrie was kind of walking the parking or the playground at the same time that I was running. I wasn't really gaining much on her, but uh, I did kind of try to keep myself in that kind of upright as much as possible, arms bent, kind of like I said, athletic kind of trot the whole time, and I was able to do that. My heart rate was up a lot. It was up above 160 pretty much from that 10-minute mark. And so I don't know I wonder if that 10-minute is my first mile. 10:57, was that my first mile? No, my first mile was 17 minutes, so I got faster, but um, the total time was 54. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm really happy I got the workout done. I mean, that was kind of, I'm going on about this workout, but I still have to do a swim before I do this, and I'm still gonna, but the fact that I was able to do this, I think the total time between the two workouts is just over 2 hours. The 107 plus the 54 is going to put me right over 2 hours. If I'd have known that I was that close to getting it all done in under 2 hours, I may have picked up the pace on the 5K. I really tried to not kill myself though. Like I was trying to keep my heart rate down. There might be a time during the 5K where I did spike my heart rate. Just like the 32-minute mark. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll push a little harder. And I was running a little faster. And right away, I was like, man, I just made my heart rate just. I could tell that I was not going to be able to sustain that. Um, Verb says you're a beast and doing great. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. The um the biggest thing about all of it and what I kind of was um the I did this workout and like the trying to pass my wife. Yes. Will says that's amazing time and you're just back from a 5K walk. That's awesome. I hope your walk went well. Um I've been doing my workouts outside and around, at least where I live. I really enjoy being out on the road and walking. It's a little awkward because the roads that are by my house aren't really designed to be walked or run on. But I pay the property taxes for where I live, and they probably go towards putting something towards those roads. So I'm going to use them. And the the resting heart rate. Oh, yeah, I don't my heart rate thing says my resting heart rate's super low when I'm asleep, but the second I wake up, my heart rate is just crazy. I don't even know why this is still on, but I can show you my heart rate. It should show a timeline. Um, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, the day-to-day heart rate is a lot lower when I'm sleeping, but the second I wake up there, it kind of spikes up. So I don't know any about it. Anyways, I am going to put this away. So a big thing though that I worried about, I wanted to do that workout. I felt great. In fact, afterwards I was texting my brother, about how good I felt, and really at the time I really could have done more. Like I wasn't, and I kind of that bike ride, I did that 34-mile bike ride. That really kind of proved to myself that I could keep my heart rate up at that 150, that 160 level, and I could hold it there for I think that was like a 3.5 hour bike ride to do that whole time, maybe 4 hours, and keep going, And so, uh, anyways, I got done. I was texting him about how I felt, how great I felt at the end. I could have done more, but I got to leave a little in the tank, right? And even like a little bit of soreness last night, but not much. And then getting up this morning, the and being able to hop out of bed. I mean, hop or whatever. Uh, I didn't have. Carrie kind of made a comment this morning about it too. Is that like if there would have been an event a year ago where I was going to be in a position where I was going to have to stand for a long period of time, then I was going to have, I would do the event, I'd stand, I'd, whatever it took to get it done and do it, I would do. But then when we got home, I would be laid up. I would, be on, off my feet or trying to relax or not doing things because, I had to stand all day. I can't get up and do that, And that was not the case. This morning I was up at sunrise and, um, kind of moving around doing things. In the these workouts are so different from any workouts I've ever done. Anytime it's ever been about workouts for me, it's been about going to the gym and pumping iron and getting stronger and then letting the sweat, sweating from working out so hard, be your weight loss, and then maybe go do a quick mile or go do a mile on the treadmill or a few minutes on the treadmill to cool down or maybe to warm up for the workout. But for uh, those, I mean, that bike ride is the furthest I've ever biked, but this workout here, um, I mean, that was as good a I haven't worked out like that in decades. Like since I was in high school, like so it was interesting to be out there and I don't have soreness like I expected to have. I guess is what I was getting at. Like when I go and I work out at the gym and I lift the weight, it hurts to touch the muscles or to move, and that's not the case. My legs are not sore like that. And maybe it's because I'm 6 weeks or seven, what is it? It's 6 weeks. So I'm 5 weeks into training. It was 6 weeks. Anyways, I'm like a month and a half into kind of doing stuff, but it was not anything to that. What I felt like was that level, like I did yesterday, and I'm feeling great today. So, um, I'm gonna keep doing the workouts. I got to get through this sprint triathlon this weekend, but I have my brother. He's already excited about doing another sprint triathlon in 2 months, and I got a friend of mine that's really gotten into running, and he wants me to do some runs with him coming up, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I really enjoyed that workout yesterday, but I don't know that I want to commit myself to an event like this, like I did with the sprint triathlon. Um, I'm extremely happy with the fact that I've gotten off my butt and I've been doing stuff and kind of the stuff that learning about training for the triathlon and training in general, that education that I'm getting for this, I'm very happy. But I don't know if I don't know what I'm going to do past this weekend. But I'm excited now after doing that workout to get out there, try to. I mean, 2.5 hours is going to be my goal. Um, I, I can probably push myself a little more on the bike. I was worried that I was going to be just gassed when I got running. And then with the running, the toughest part about running for me is that I feel physical pain in my feet and my ankles that I feel like it's from my weight. If I was 100 pounds lighter, doing that running wouldn't be a problem at all. And so the to run harder, I feel like it puts a lot more impact on my joints, and that's what I get worried about with pushing the running too much. And then also my heart rate it spikes up too when I really try to run hard. My heart rate gets real high, and I don't want to be, you know, the heart rate I had there was as high as I would want to see it. I would like it to be lower while I'm doing that type of workout, but I don't know, you know, I'm just getting started with this. So, anyways, I got a late start. There was no audio for the first 5 minutes. And I just went on for a half hour about my workout. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do for workouts today. I definitely got to get something in today or tomorrow morning. I keep having good intentions to get up and work out in the morning. I just cannot get myself motivated to do a workout in the morning. I really have been enjoying working out in the evening, but it's tough because it takes a lot of time away from being at home. Um, so anyways, I appreciate you guys checking out my stream today. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to be on tomorrow, Wednesday. I think I could be on every day this week. I think I don't have anything that's come up yet that's going to get in the way from that, but I will. I'll keep you guys updated as we get on. So, anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. You all have a good evening, and we will see you all tomorrow.